A slice of sky. Sunrise, 9th of December 2020. The crimson sparkles from the turbines are pointillizing the horizon. A line of watery yellow is followed by further streaks. A sketch of what might be to come. They elongate as the sky sloughs off its darker tones. Paler bands, yet undefined by colour, feel their way across the sky. The initial lines glow emboldened and gold. The sea's dark with one twinkled light. Tentatively dusty pink starts to fill the space. A silhouetted seagull like a Victorian portrait spies the scene. The muted colours are swept downwards in the ever-lightening grey. Chattering birds remind me of the cold. The street light goes out. The turbines no longer flash, and the sky is sparsely smudged with frozen hues, reluctant to melt like unshed tears held in abeyance. Normal funeral rites are denied. Only 6 persons can attend. People are unable to say a proper goodbye to their loved ones, and religious customs cannot be observed. This means, out of necessity, where people can, they Zoom together and must find different and unfamiliar ways to mourn their loss. In the sky, there's a chemical pink, not flesh tinge, as people connect through a screen. It's unusual, disconcerting even. Shapes of grey wind their way over the street, muffling the tone that pales as its connective tissue disintegrates and colour is blown into a cloud. Only white remains. Then some icy blue glimmers in the sky as momentary the pink flush appears and the sea nearer the shore takes on a bluish note. The rest of the sea is tinged green-grey. Some clouds glow from the inside, and sparrows form an orderly queue, socially distanced, of course, on the telegraph wire. A stripe of sapphire shimmers in the sky, and the palest suggestion of pink disperses into the silver, grey, and white clouds. It's acknowledged from yesterday that the vaccine is being used for the most vulnerable and elderly. Cars throng the streets as the morning starts. A slice of sky came into being because I had been doing descriptions from my bedroom window of sunrises and sunsets, and I mentioned this to Jo. I found this gave me structure to the day, and it was also made me, as we could look out of the window and see the beginning of the sunset now, it made me feel the variance and the beauty of nature, which we can often forget. And it also made me think of the universality, because basically the sun is always rising somewhere and setting somewhere. So it's a universal thing that's going on. And Jo kindly was very happy to do a collaborative event with me, and she has found painting during lockdown very therapeutic. And I'd just like to mention that Tom and Anna are representing Indian Futures, and all your donations will be going to them, and they will give a little talk after I have finished, and we have finished. So the next one is Sunrise, the 13th of December 2020. The lights in the wind turbines flash vermilion against the indigo sky, like a line of syncopated can-can dancers. A cloud, dove grey, hangs in the sky as the scene unfolds. The city lights glisten and the can-can dancers disappear from view. A few cars travel the streets, and the outlines of clouds layer the brightening sky as the rain patters on the pane. The muted heavenly greys are circled by dark silhouettes of seagulls, and the misted horizon partially hides the sea. The city lights are extinguished. The steely greys are merging, and splattered raindrops hold their pearled shapes until some of them run down. The wind and the rain gust like a maraca, and the rivulets crescendo. The sky shade lightens with a tinge of Cambridge blue as the rain ceases and the sea comes back into definition. The layered clouds, like soft folds of cotton wool, blanket the sky as the traffic on the street bustles. The sky gives the illusion of being striped looking through the splattered window. A line of suited commuters who in these days of COVID-19 are mainly working from home. A new fashion trend is talking about elasticated waists, something more comfortable and more practical. Dogs bark, dogs that must be walked, whatever the weather. Sunrise, 5th of January 2021. Lockdown is back from midnight tonight. The government are trying to give the NHS a breathing space to alleviate the pressure of mounting cases. The grey skyline is broken by wisps of white. A light shimmers amber on the sullen sea. The pale sky looks like overstretched skin. The grimmest fact is that the cumulative effect of inequality and suffering is exacerbated by lockdown. The divide between the rich and poorer becomes even greater. The monotone hues are bleak and chilly. The light on the horizon has been snuffed out. The turbines are blurred. There is a confusion of how cancelled O and A levels will be assessed and may be tested. There is still the question of when children will be going back to school, and if the vaccination will be rolled out as quickly as envisaged. English heritage tell us that we should keep our Christmas decorations up until Candlemas, the 2nd of February, rather than taking them down on the 6th of January, the 12th night. They say, don't be afraid of the goblins and keep them glowing that little bit longer. The hues of dawn lie hidden, like non-fatal strangulation. There is a wish for this to be classified by the Lords as a specific criminal offence. There's a lack of awareness of the severity, as it often doesn't leave marks, and proof can frequently require forensic evidence, and the offence is often regarded as common assault. All forms of abuse are on the rise during lockdown. The rules are, at the moment, that we should stay at home as much as possible, only exercise once a day, and that with one other person socially distanced. Another fishing boat is glistening on the horizon, and although the news is depressing, I still have the hope that the future will be better, and realise the importance of being in the moment. Sunrise, 11th of January 2021. The first 7 vaccination centres open today. Next week, more will be open. Hospitals, GPs and local pharmacies. Prince Charles is starting Terra Carta to safeguard people, nature and the planet. The skyline and the sea are filled with grizzled shades. The misted sky is mauve-tinged, and the sea is ashen with a slight flush refracted from the sky. It looks like a smouldering cigarette. A pale blue pushes itself along the horizon. The scene is like an etched painting with the faintest tone of watercolour. The sea is graphite-coloured towards the land, and there are shimmered icy pools on the horizon. Peachy patches appear in the sky. They float uncertainly, and the blue is grey-whipped. The tones below the cobweb sky alter, trying out their shy pastel notes, and come in and out of view, and are framed with a white and blue glow. Their hues mushroom and seep, and the sea, which is green-tinged, has a rosy shimmer. A tentative blue azure now contrasts with the apricot peachy glow and finds an opening to reveal its presence. A bit like an art restorer who finds the true colour underneath all those coats of varnish. The scene settles down to grey pigments interspersed with blue, trying to peep through, while the sea ripples. Sunset, 11th of January 2021. This morning's peachy yellow sweeps amidst billowing feathery clouds like little sparks of hope on an overcast day. Bits of shivered blue appear below the puffy grey like rings under eyes. Maybe the soft colours are silky negligees specially kept for a lover's assignment. One balloons with a flourish in the sky, contouring the body of a cloud, only to be cast aside. Little cloudlets, like flesh-coloured cherubims, float, extolling love, while the sun blazons the sky with gold. It splinters the grey as its reflection lights up like a smile. The light transforms to platinum. Its shimmer is ghostly, a reminder of absent friends. As it trails in the wintry skies, pink scarves swirl and swoosh. They give off a glow like spent embers griddled in ash. Stoked again, they find enough heat to glow orange as the sea churns towards the shore, and the lines of burnt orange look like a 4-barred electric fire, only to go out, no money for the meter. Pink hues infuse the grey, like lovers' limbs entwined, whispering, kissing, as a streak jettisoned from the sun is filled with pale yellow and a discarded peach negligee ribbon lies abandoned. The grey and pink tones disappear as skin on skin becomes as one. A band of molten gold like a shiny pen points into the indigo horizon. The brilliant orange darkens to crimson mixed with vermilion as bodies shudder before being engulfed in sleep. Black seeps and cools the visceral colour. The pigments are slowly laid to rest, post-coital bliss. A shredded black tissue paper extinguishes their hues, and the bodies, snuggled, duvet-covered, fall into oblivion. Sunrise, 29th of January 2021. The sky is lightning. Part of the purified spike protein and adjuvant of a new vaccine is being processed in America. A bloom of yellow is misting the horizon. The AstraZeneca vaccine is as effective with the elderly. So although trials were carried out with younger people to begin with, later on in the research, elderly people were used, and it was found as effective with the older generation. A hesitant pink starts to billow and blossom in the grey mist, and a deeper, shocking pink is scratched into the pale blue and starts to blend, diminishing its vibrancy. As the colours mix, the grey eats into the pink, and patches of Cambridge blue peek through, and the occasional soft baby pink floats in and out of view. The pink slips like a tongue, formulating sound in the grey, and the yellow hue is rubbed away. The sound is muffled, and only tiny echoes, like half-remembered thoughts, leave small marks in the blue-grey sky. The efficacy of the AstraZeneca is doubted by some European nations, and the use of the vaccine is put on hold. The sea is misted greeny grey. The chalky pinks blur and dapple in the clouds that glow on an uncertain day, where the grey cobwebs are present. Birds whisper yet more queries in the air. The sea is gyrating, and white horses ride, reflecting that everybody wants a fair share of the vaccine and are frustrated by the lack of supplies. Sunset, 2nd of February 2021. The sun shimmers on top of a cloud bank and leaves a glowing haze above nicotine-edged clouds and slivers of blue. Clouds gather in grey overcoats, and yellow pollinated dust motes rise above the cloudscape, and the sea is greenish grey. A doubtful streak of flesh-coloured pigments appear, and it's like I'm a voyeur looking through a keyhole, or a surgeon even. My eye squints, trying to make out shapes, and the blade makes a small incision. The clouds separate, allowing my eye to see undulating shapes as the knife disappears into the tissue. Watery yellow serum seeps into the gap. The tones remain sombre greys, and my eyes tire of looking through the lock. I've stitched up the incision as the grey threads knit together, making a blanket for the sky, preparing it for night. the death of Sir Captain Tom Moore is announced. He gave hope to an uncertain nation, a role model of an elderly person, an example of courage and perseverance. Sunset, 9th of February 2021. Swatches of pink are billowing in the gaps between the clouds and turn amber. The sea cobalt blue on the horizon and icy blue near the shore. The clouds gather as a topaz streak is suffocated by ash. A zingy lemon ray emerges. The turbines are black spikes. The horizon is dull Prussian blue streaked with azure and steely grey towards the shore. The grizzled clouds fall down upon each other, clearing the sky above as a peachy light stretches an arm into the gloom. Grandparents, where possible, are giving a helping hand, homeschooling their grandchildren. This reminds me of my granddaughter, who shared with me the story of the Chinese Jade Emperor and how the years would be named. The order of the years would be decided by a swimming race. The rat told the cat the race would be on the next day. The kindly ox took the rat on his back, and the rat scampered off and was the winner, followed by the ox. The tiger and the rabbit followed, and then the dragon, who could have easily been first, but he stopped off to give the farmers rain. The snake and the horse were together, but the snake slithered through the horse's hooves. The goat, monkey, and rooster made a raft, and they arrived in that order. The dog enjoyed swimming in the lovely, cool water, so he took his time. And the pig, well, the pig only just made it. Oh, he had a nap on the way, and he had something to eat. The cat arrived too late, having been tricked by the rat, and this explains why, to this day, the cat and the rat have never been friends. In the sky, there's saffron-hued outline, which transforms to a marmalade colour. It looks like a snarling cat. But where's the rat? The rat has disappeared. The dark clouds cluster together, and the remaining sky keeps a blue lustre until darkness falls. Sunrise, 23rd of February, 2021. The Grisier sky is lifted by golden rays that splay out. Two streaks of salmon pink float, multiply and rise like dancing ribbons and swirling pigments of gold, pink and mauve. They surge their joy into the pallid landscape. The sea is murky. The patches of pink in the cyan sky are like blue and pink self-seeded forget-me-nots. As the blue deepens and extends, the grey hues are chased away. The coral folds and weaves into the charcoal cloud like heather bells on misted moors. The shimmering soft-shelled pink pool threads widen and their paling pigments merge into a wash that's a subtle tint that turns from shivered white to flesh-hued to a pastel chalky blush over a cyan horizon and blue-skinned green sea. The conversation between the pink and blue whispers. The deaths in the USA from the virus are more than World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War combined. Can you believe that? The clouds, sieved of colour, allow their white wisps to curl and unfurl as the blue becomes dominant and grey-blue bands the horizon. Light glints the sky as the sunrise colours seep away and settle into a cerulean blue and clouded sky. Sunset, 6th of March 2021. The sky is banded with hushed tones of pink and the sea is blue-green. The turbine's black against the rose-budded sky which sifts into the stray grey clouds. A vapour trail rises into the sky and the golden tones are now shimmering with orange rays. The warm haze holds onto the misted pigments like powder onto foundation. The colours fade, become tawny like fringes of petals beyond their best, as the clouds turn to a deeper shade of squirrel grey and the sea loses its luminescence. The turbines drill their arms. The sun's glow is a primrose yellow, as those seen on the embankments and deeper cowslip below. The horizon is russet tinted and the clouds charcoal as the clouds' blue notes evaporate. A crocodile shape lurks and other forms scrabble together, giving an abstract outline, giving movement to the sky, which is now the colour of a tiger's eye. The crocodile has changed into a scavenging fox, and there's an occasional light on the horizon. The glow returns as the sky becomes orangey in contrast with the sea. The steely notes deepen. The sky summons up its remembered blue and sinks into its night coat as caramelized orange seeps away. Sunrise, 8th of March 2021. The new moon hovers in the heavens. Its spectral crescent cuts into the hazy day. A hint of yellow wash, like a sprinkling of ground ginger, floats in the sky amidst hair-netted clouds and the sea's icy blue. It's origamied with bleached white tissue paper that's geometrically triangulated and folded over into the silvery water. Dusty pink pigments rise like dry brushstrokes and are magnetized into the grey, trying to balance negativity with positivity. As the billowing, elongated clouds stretch their limbs amongst the breathy blue. Clouds nearest to the waning moon begin to leach colour, glow off-white. The rest transform to regimented lights. As children are welcomed back to school, combining the feeling of relief with trepidation. The sun's rays give off an uncertain shimmer as the sulky grey frowns slink away. Structure does offer hope. The sky towards the horizon is striated, and lagging mottled paths are being pushed in that direction. Encouraged, they follow and stagger into a uniform pattern which mirrors the mixture of excitement and apprehension of schools opening. Today is the 8th of March. It's International Women's Day. So like the sparse palette of the sky, their empathy and compassion often go unnoticed and unsung. Sunset, 12th of April, 2021. Clouds are low in the sky, and the sea is ribboned in shades of light and cerulean blue. The turbines are like windmills, and the sky transforms to Cambridge blue. Clouds are opaque, yet their edges glint. Today is when lockdown is being eased, and non-essential shops, hairdressers, beauty salons are opening together with cafes whose outdoor areas can serve customers. A threatening cloud blusters in from above as the halo sun sinks through the nicotine and ecru-coloured sky. The upper clouds break up, and their peachy bloom mixes with the grisliest colours in the duck egg blue as the pigments takes turns to dominate. There is a balance to be struck on whether the easing of lockdown will compensate economic downturn without the virus numbers accelerating out of control. Honey hues play as an afterglow of the sun. The sky loses its blue pigment. The pinks blush and crimson hues find their place in the sky. On the horizon, pink clover notes add their vibrancy to the golden tones. A slash of shell-like satin lights up. It's like an open mouth in a grey face. The sea is tarnished silver, and pure yellow and buttermilk tones echo the sunset as the pink smear in the sky takes on an orange skin. A lemon is oozing out its citrus notes. Beyond, apricot and mandarin colours squeeze their pigments between charcoal clouds as night falls. Sunset, 26th of April, 2021. Turbines loom in the haze. The sea is cerulean mixed with grey. The sky is cyan, and the sunbeams shimmer in the striated clouds above, making them sparkle. Flesh-coloured tints rise from the horizon as the sea is grey ultramarine and the sheen above the sun is grizzled. The funeral pyres increase as India endures her second surge of the pandemic. The fumes from the crematoriums are multiplying as people are dying due to lack of oxygen and medical supplies for the sick. The UK and America are promising help, and the World Health Organization is giving aid. Powdered subtle pink layers build up and are threaded with fine silk pink yarn. A vapor trail scars the sky with a white line, and apricot orange colours are mixed with grey as the pigments transform to a lustered peachy hue with gold in a smoky atmosphere. Some flimsy clouds glow with pale, creamy blossoms. The grey absorbs a spiritual purple. Carmine tints streak the sky and pink fluffs clouds. The orange walnut shades band the horizon, and turmeric notes find spaces to spread as the sea pewters. The grizzle grey comes back, and vermilion crimson flames spurt their colours as the horizon is filled with persimmon. Families in India tried desperately to help their loved ones, dragging oxygen canisters to be refilled on the black market at exorbitant prices, or grieve unable to save their relatives or friends due to shortages. Smudged violet and black covers the embers as charcoal hues splay, highlighting the plight of the Indian population once again, as the spicy orange streak in the sky darkens.
God, this is the bit.
One more time, just for
And now I'd like to welcome Anna and Tom just to say a little bit about Indian Futures, where the donations are going.
A little bit about Indian Futures. All the funds that we collect today are going to Indian Futures, which is a charity that I founded back in 2017. For many years I kept going back to these parts of India, to the south of India, to this tiny little village in a rural area. And when I first went there, there was just a few after-school centres where kids used to go and prepare their exams and do their homework after school. And as I kept going back, I saw that project get bigger and bigger. And at some points, I got involved in the project, as in kind of trying to structure the educational project a little bit more. And then one day I said, okay, when I go back to the UK, I'll set up something so that I can continue to have the projects from the UK. So that's how Indian Future started. And since then, since 2017, we've created 3 IT centres. We really wanted to go for a quality education. One of the things that I realised as I kept going back to India was that actually everyone has access to education. There's nearly 100% of children going to school, but it's a real lack of quality education. It's a real lack of kind of looking into what's missing in the schools, and there's a lot of teachers' absence. So we really wanted to go to fill those gaps. They do have education, but it was more about kind of doing a little bit more in-depth work into these schools and the things that can maybe improve the quality of education. So IT was one of the first things that people sort of told us that they needed. So yeah, we've created these 3 IT centres. Now they're attended by about 120, 125 children. After the pandemic, of course, numbers are a bit lower, but we're hoping everything will go back to normal soon. And after we created the 3 IT centres, then we kind of focused a little bit more on women's empowerment. And we've started helping female students who want to go to university but don't have the means to do that. So we've got a sponsorship program. At the moment, we're sponsoring 14 girls to go to university. We want to do loads more with that project, because it'd be great to give them training so that they can train the future generations, but also we also kind of were thinking of doing some careers advice program where the students don't just finish their studies and then go off to get married, which is what usually happens in India, but they start looking at job possibilities and what they can do with their career, basically. So that's pretty much Indian Futures in India. But of course, for all of that to function, we have events that we run regularly in Brighton and in Barcelona, which is where I'm from. Tom will tell you about what we do in Brighton. In Barcelona, very quickly, we've got a project with the University of Tourism there, and they organise events through the year for us. And last year, we did a collaboration project between the University of Tourism in Barcelona and Sussex University here. And Tom will tell you more about what we do in Brighton.
So, as we know, the COVID pandemic has changed our lives and our way of being quite significantly over the last couple of years, and of course that had to have a change of how we raise money to keep our projects going and to expand on our projects. We did quite a lot of online fundraising, a lot of campaigns that other charities were getting involved with as well, and then the idea of Art Apart came around, where we had an online art exhibition showcasing art generally from Brighton artists, some Spanish artists also, and it was quite international, but generally Brighton artists. And one of the first things we did when we could actually have physical events again was to have the Art Apart exhibition at the Jubilee Library, where we met fantastic Alanna, and she kindly offered to support our charity with evenings like this. So any donations you make today will go directly into Indian Futures to maintain our projects and to hopefully get them growing again from 2022.